guys, what's up? It's your Ready from Rady's Rides. I'm back here in my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have that one truck that's always had to put up a fight to compete with the competition, and it's this vehicle right here. What is it? It's a 2024 Honda Ridgeline, but guess what? This is the first Honda Ridgeline Trailsport. But before we get into this versatile mid-size truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So it's been about since 2008 when the Ridgeline first appeared, and I remember being at the Daytona 200, which is the motorcycle race, not a NASCAR race, and Honda had a display and had the new Ridgeline. I really kind of felt like I was taking a liking to it. Then the second gen came out, and I feel like some of that excitement maybe was lost in translation because a lot of people felt that this was basically like a Honda Pilot with a bed attached to it. The good news is Honda has been tweaking the Ridgeline for this generation, and they really feel like now they're at a spot where really a lot of truck lovers are going to want to take a serious look at the Ridgeline. Now, it's fascinating because the midsize truck segment is changing crazy overnight. There's a lot more smaller displacement turbocharged engines and even hybrid powertrains. But guess what? For those who still like their good old-fashioned naturally aspirated V6s, this one still has it under the hood. But why don't we go ahead, let's dive in. Let me show you what's unique about the Ridgeline Trailsport, and is it the better mid-size truck over the competition? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, signature Trailsport color called Sky Blue. This seems to be the popular craze amongst all the kids nowadays when it comes to that bluish gray color. And I really think that this color fits the sporty style that Honda's trying to bring with the Ridgeline. At the front of the business, you're gonna see refreshing of going on with the headlight design. You got your LED daytime running lamps, LED projector beam headlights, and then working our way down, I love the way they sculpted this lower bumper area because guess what? We have functional air curtains. You do have your turn signals mounted low, and they are the old-fashioned light bulb, so I am gonna have to zonk that. It would be nice if it was all LED, but if you look closely, all the way down in the itsy-bitsy teeny corner here, you have LED fog lamps. So nice to have the functionality of lighting and also the airflow, but it definitely gives the front of the Ridgeline a little bit more of a bolder appearance. And I think that's been one of the things that's been hurting the Ridgeline. Like I said, a lot of people just say, hey, that's a Honda Pilot with a bed on it. Now, as we come across the unique grille of the Trailsport, you'll notice the metallic gray finish, that massive Honda badge that Flava Flav would wear around his neck instead of the clock. And then we have, of course, our Trailsport badge with the Rocky Mountains, the orange trim. That's Trailsport specific. Working our way down, some flat black, more functionality, and then you'll notice the gunmetal metallic gray finish. Now, there are accessory HPD skid plates you could get underneath this to make sure that you're protecting all of the inner bits underneath the Ridgeline as you are going off-road. But this is the most off-road spec to date of the Ridgeline. Now, as we rise up, hood is the same. So you got that nice, smooth, bold hood. It's got a smooth fold to it with the gloss black brow that is unique to the Trailsport trim. And then as we come around the bend, of course, we have new wheels, and check this out, all new tires. So for the first time on a Ridgeline, when you go Trailsport, you're getting these off-road general grabber all-terrain tires. These are the real deal thing. You have your shielding protection all the way around. We have a new wheel that's an 18-inch wheel, 5-spoke design, nice and beefy looking, that metallic gray finish, 245 on the width, 60 series sidewall, and you basically have a Ridgeline that's sitting almost an inch higher than your standard Ridgeline. So you are getting a little bit more ground clearance. They worked on the suspension, the shock absorbers, the tuning of those, and they worked on the chassis to give you a nice, rigid setup to this Ridgeline. See what I did there? Rigid, Ridgeline. Flat black around the fender opening. I'm okay with that, with this being part of the off-road spec. I would like to see it just flared out a little bit to give it some more of that aggressive look. I think they did a good job on the front would be nice to see a little bit more flaring around the fender opening, especially with these off-road tires. Now, as you go down the side, you do have gloss black on your mirror caps, LED turn signals, color matched on the door handles, flat black along the lower sill. And you're probably gonna get, when you look at the other mid-size trucks, a lot of them, especially when it comes to passenger room, are a little on the small side. I mean, these have nice large doors with super large openings. Wait until I show you all the room in this truck. Now, working our way towards the cab, the back of the cab, you do have some gloss black to help with that airflow. And then what's great about the bed of the truck is you don't have to worry about a bed liner. It already comes with protection from the factory, and I'll show you more of that in a second. Now, taillights, it's a little bit of a letdown. You do have the LED brake lights, but we still have the old-fashioned Thomas Edison light bulbs in there. I could see Thomas Edison rocking in his rocking chair. His friends used to call him Tommy, so I see Tommy in there. We do have a Trailsport badge that's new because this is the Trailsport edition. And I like the way that they just stamp the Ridgeline name and then fill it in with the flat black. Very bold, especially with the sky blue. Of course, we got to let people know that this is a Honda vehicle, and we do have standard all-wheel drive. It's that intelligent all-wheel drive that could send 70% of the power to the rear wheels. Now, as we go all the way down the ground level, I like the way they had the flat black on the bumpers, and then you have a nice dual outlet exhaust, stainless steel tip, and your full tow capability, which you can tow up to 5,000 pounds with this vehicle. Now, the Ridgeline is a bit of a magician, and let me show you why. Traditionally, if I was gonna open up the tailgate, I would do it here, but watch this, you ready? Voila! So you could actually open up the tailgate this way, or you could do it traditional and open up the tailgate that way. But like I said, you have the bed liner already put into the bed itself. You do have your tie down locations throughout the back of the truck, LED lighting, which is nice. And then watch this. I'm actually gonna help Lori out so she doesn't have to lean in. So, and that's the nice thing about opening it up this way. Think about it. You're right here. You're right here. You don't have to fall in. The great news is opening it this way, you'll notice that there's a lock here. You could actually lock this. I have it unlocked. Lift it up. You have storage space that's weatherproof. Plus, you could use this as a cooler. So think about your tailgating possibilities. Fill this up with your favorite drinks. It does have a drain plug, so you don't have to suck all the melted water out from the ice. Put that right back in there. And what I like about this as well is that you got your spare and your jack easily accessible. When the Ridgeline first came out with this in a truck, people were blown away. I know I was blown away. Close it up, seal it up. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready. I'm gonna wipe all this sweat off my freaking head because it's hot out here. Let's pop the hood and see that V6. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. You do have a prop rod. Most of the competition has a prop rod. Underneath the hood, you're gonna notice a semi-tasteful engine cover with the Honda name on it. What do we have going on? That's a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6, putting out 280 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. It could tow up to 5,000 pounds, payload capacity 1,583 pounds, and like I mentioned earlier, it has that IVTM4 all-wheel drive system. So that's an intelligent, variable torque distribution to the all-wheel drive. 70% could be sent to the rear wheels. The truck does weigh 4,568 pounds. MPGs, 18 in the city, 23 on the highway. And that cooler out back, that's almost 8 cubic feet of space. So think about the possibilities with that. But nice to still see a naturally aspirated V6. It's a dying breed. But why don't we go ahead, let's get inside, fire this thing up, and see the new Ridgeline move. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Honda Ridgeline Trailsport. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, you're right. I haven't given the Ridgeline enough credit. I'm looking at midsize trucks and I see what the market is bringing. I really want to give this truck a more serious look, but what's the price? Very good question. MSRP for the way that this one is optioned is around $46,830. Let's see what Honda brings for the money to the door panels. You're going to get the same usual Ridgeline door panel, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Soft touch everywhere you look. There is a lot of black, but I think that's going to be easier to keep clean. You have some orange stitching. That's the only telltale sign that this is a Trailsport. In the center there, you do have a Subway foot-long sandwich holder. Get a cold cut trio or a cold cut combo and a Coca-Cola to wash it down. And then down below, you could put your macadamia nut Subway cookies, up to 8 of them, and hopefully you won't get sick. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same thing, same material. It is soft touch, and you have this other plastic trim. Slide on in, you're getting the new infotainment system. And when I say new, it's a little bit larger, 9-inch, still integrated with your navigation. What I like about the Honda system is you get the same usual apps. They did quicken up the response time of the infotainment system. And another thing is like if you want your navigation to the left of your Sirius XM, it's not hard to move. You just do that, you hit done, and that's it. I'll throw the 9-speed into reverse. I think I'm gonna need to see a therapist. This is way too small, way too cloudy of a resolution for a backup camera, but you do have trajectory, which is nice, and you can change the angle a little bit. But that needs to be larger, and I need better resolution. That's pretty sad. Real volume knob, your LED bright red start-stop button. We do have dual climate control with easy to figure out knobs and switches. Your rear AC control. You have a little Twinkie holder for 2 Twinkies. 3 stages of heated seats. Wireless charging and a place for 3 Musketeers. Three Musketeers. USB-A, USB-C, and a 12-volt. This is going to control your 9-speed automatic. You do have your different modes, which I'll show you when you come to the business side. And they did redesign this for 2024 to give you more usable space. 2 cup holders, same Honda key fob, but it's a good key fob, so I like it. Remote start. Love the width of the armrest, soft with that Trailsport stitching. Open it up, you could easily put, I would say, a volleyball in there. So if you have your friend Wilson, and you got off the island, you don't have to send him away. You could put Wilson in there and he could stay with you forever. Seats, the leather material, Trailsport embroidery, just like outside with the Rocky Mountains. You do have your stitching, the bolstering, electric assist for the passenger, electric assist for the driver, and a nice size sunroof. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Ridgeline. Guys, business time behind the wheel of this Ridgeline Trailsport. You have 2 memory seat settings. I like the way they give you these all-weather Ridgeline protection floor mats with the Ridgeline name. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. If you're wondering what the hell is this is actually the pedal for your e-brake. So this is not a clutch. That is the e-brake, and you do have a decent dead pedal. I hate the way they cut it down. I don't know why they did that, because I got big feet, which means I have big shoes. Seat controls, just like on the passenger side, easy to get to. Seats are freaking superb when it comes to comfort. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here, and this is one of the larger mid-size trucks. Steering wheel, I love the way they got the smooth leather, the perforated leather, the orange stitching because this is the Trailsport. Flat black on all the switchgear. You do have a heated steering wheel, 1 touch. Paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down the 9-speed automatic. It is manual tilting and telescoping. And another new feature is this right here, power folding side mirrors. You still have your econ button, so if you failed economics in high school, just hit that and all your grades go from F's to A's. And then of course, behind the steering wheel, we have that 7-inch digital gauge cluster with an analog speedometer, your different modes, snow, mud, sand, and normal, plus the econ. So econ is on top of that, no sport mode, but you can get down and dirty and go sand mode. But let's go ahead, let's get in the back seat because I think you might be impressed with how much room there is in this Ridgeline. All right guys, back seat time, and this is really where the Ridgeline lays the smackdown on the competition. There's no other mid-sized truck that has this much room in the back. I like the way you have the soft material all the way around. Large pockets put a back scratcher in there, put a mirror, put an abacus. There's tons of room, so you could bring everything, including the kitchen sink, and just shove it in there. You do have your rear AC vents, but what sucks is they have this panel here where there could be buttons to control the rear AC, but you can't. But they almost give you the dream that you might have that usability. Only a 12 volt, no USB-Cs. That's a big zonk. Would like to have seen a home power source too. But the seats are definitely comfy, lots of room. You got the rear sliding glass. Ooh, look at this armor. This is special. Got a place to put a couple boxes of Tic Tacs, your 2 drinks, and then watch this. You see what that says right there? I'm actually gonna do it. Living life on the edge. Look at that. Actually folds right up. You could fold up this middle seat and really just go to Lowe's and get yourself those big pieces of wood that you always dreamed of being able to carry inside your vehicle. But why don't we go ahead? I'm not talking about doing anything with me laying in the bed of the truck. I want to get behind the wheel and take you for a drive. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin in this Ridgeline. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Honda Ridgeline, this being the all-new Trailsport. When you get in, everything is going to be familiar to you. You know, the infotainment system is a little larger, but it's still in the same arrangement as previous model years. And of course, you're going to get great visibility and comfort that you're not going to find in any other mid-size truck. Now, you might say, oh, Hyundai Santa Cruz. Well, guess what? Hyundai Santa Cruz is a compact. This is a mid-size. Now, one of the things that kind of just bothers me is that you do have a mode select button for the different modes, but then you hit drive for a second time once you're going, and that puts you into sport mode. But if you want economy, econ, you got to hit the econ button. So really fascinating how they didn't tie all the buttons in together into one setup. And that to me is just a little confusing. What you're gonna love about the Trailsport edition is that even with the off-road tires, it still rides really, really well on the road. So obviously you use this for daily driving, you use this to go to your favorite place to put the kayak in that's off the beaten path. On your journey there, it's still going to be very pleasurable. And I think that's one of the things to remember about the Ridgeline is that it rides very well, and you're not getting a ton of tire noise. A little bit more, of course, than your standard Ridgeline, but still nothing that's too obtrusive that's just going to give you a headache. I like the way they reshaped the center console for all your snack storage, your cup holders, and they hold the Yeti cans, those big, massive Yeti cans and water bottles. And even though some people may not love a push button transmission, it does free up the space very, very nicely. Seats are some of the best, not only in the truck world, but also in the SUV world. They're very comfortable, supportive, without being too mushy, like some mashed potatoes. I like it when you're in sport mode, it automatically turns off the auto start stop feature. That's a nice touch. And then, like I was saying, the visibility, the Honda safety features, you have all that great technology to keep you safe and know your surroundings very, very well with the great visibility. Pulling away from the lights, even in sport mode, throttle sensitivity is good. You got that naturally aspirated V6, which is going to give you very linear torque delivery. And the 9-speed shifts really, really well. I don't think you're going to have any major complaints. Some of the things that just bother me while I'm inside the cabin is I wish the dash was full digital. They have it in their other vehicles. And why this does not have a forward-facing camera and 360-degree camera, and that awesome trail watch system where you just hit the button on the windshield wiper stock to give you your camera views when you're going off-road is beyond me, especially in an off-road spec Ridgeline. But with that being said, of course you're gonna get that Honda durability, reliability, and then probably one of the most versatile using of the trucks that are midsize. But right now I'm in sport. If I hit the green econ button, you get the graphic, and that's gonna change the settings to give you maximum MPGs. But it's a weird game of what button do I push depending on what mode you want. It would be nice if it was just all in that one button by the shifter. But I think not only are you gonna enjoy the way that this Ridgeline drives and rides, but also your passengers. You know, because of the frame that it utilizes, it's not gonna give you that traditional bouncy, harder ride like a truck gives. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of people out there that want the versatility of the truck, but they're not gonna enjoy the daily driving and use of it because it's not gonna ride like they think it should. This is gonna ride very comfortably, and it's not going to be anything out of the ordinary in daily operation. But what I wanna do is, enough with driving on the asphalt jungle. That's not what this Trailsport is about. I wanna get to the Radies Rides off-road course so that we can see how this does in the sugar sand. So let's get to it. All right, guys, we're at the Radies Rides off-road course. And like I was saying, this is the opportunity where if I had the trail watch system like the Pilot has, that would really be very helpful. But we have a lot of sugar sand, really loose, easy to get stuck. What we're gonna do is we're going to hit that drive mode selector button with the little Ridgeline right by the base of the shifter, and that's gonna bring us in our different modes. Snow, nope, that's not where we're at. Mud, nope. We are in sand. So they have a sand specific mode. It tells you stability control is reduced, traction control is off. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's see how this Ridgeline does. On throttle, here we go. So as you can see, going about your business in this Ridgeline really allows you to take the truck a little bit different than where you normally would compared to the other Ridgelines. Now, we do have a skid plate, which is nice, and that's gonna protect underneath, but you can see how with this system of their awesome all-wheel drive, that intelligent all-wheel drive, it's sending power from the rear to the front, from the front to the rear to give you the ultimate in grip. But remember, this is not a desert runner. This is not a rock crawler. Just want to specify that so you don't get yourself into a sticky situation. But with this being a mid-sized truck, it's just very helpful size-wise to maneuver through tight spaces. But one of the things that I like about the different modes, even though you have to search all over for them, is that each one is very unique to itself. So that's the good news, is they have a very unique personality. There's no blending of the two. But let's go ahead and go through these woods. On throttle, here we go. Nice. Good control from the front end, from the back. Really allows you to feel in command. And like I said, with the extra ground clearance, little extra ground clearance, and those off-road spec tires, that's what's gonna allow you to take your Ridgeline places where maybe you wouldn't have taken it before. And like I said, this sugar sand can catch you out very easily, and you could get dug in, which is not fun whatsoever. But a forward-facing camera would be wonderful right about now, which obviously we do not have. But the good news is it's very easy to navigate through here, even though we're in the thicker of the sand, but really smooth and controllable. I love that. Like I said, because it's a midsize, you can take it in some places where it's a little bit tighter, which is nice. But this just kind of opens up the spectrum for people looking at a Honda Ridgeline that maybe wouldn't have before because it didn't have more of an off-road spec and feel. But Honda definitely did bring it with this particular trim. And the best news is when you're ready to go home, you just put it back into Sport or Econ or Normal and you're good to go. Now, the V6 does make quite a bit of noise when you go on throttle, but the good news is that it's got that linear torque delivery and it's all real sound. Nothing silly is being pumped in, which is good to know. But overall, the great steering feel, the great driving dynamic. It's one of those things, whether you're driving on-road or off-road, Honda does such a great job with the feedback that they provide through the steering wheel and the confidence that it gives you while you're driving. But it's nice to finally have a Ridgeline with off-road spec tires, with a skid plate, and with a little bit more muscular look. I'm digging it. And say whatever you want about it being a pilot with a bed, it definitely is the most versatile of all the mid-size trucks. But we're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day out here at my favorite filming spot location. Definitely got to thank Antonio and the rest of the Honda team getting us access to this 2024 new Ridgeline Trailsport. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that this is more a real truck compared to previous model years? Or are you going to spend your money on one of the Tacomas, the Rangers, the Frontiers, or a Colorado or a Canyon? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Need to give it up. Lori Gibbons-Rady. This is car number 6 that she's filming today. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for your dedication and hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.